Are you aiming for a band 7, 8, or even 9 in your IELTS exam? Often, the difference between a good score and a great score isn't complex vocabulary, but simple, accurate grammar. Many test takers lose precious marks on basic tense mistakes. But not you. Not after this. Today, we're going to master the 4 most critical tense distinctions that examiners look for, transforming your grammatical accuracy and boosting your confidence. Let's begin. First up, a classic point of confusion: the present simple versus the present continuous. Getting this right is fundamental, as it shows you can differentiate between permanent states and temporary actions. Let's break it down. We use the present simple to talk about things that are generally true, like scientific facts, habits, and routines. Think of it as the tense for permanence and regularity. For example, the sun rises in the east is a universal fact. I drink coffee every morning is a personal habit. It's also used for scheduled events and timetables, like the train to Manchester departs at 9 a.m. Let's look at some IELTS-style examples. For speaking part 1, you might say, I work as a software engineer. This describes your permanent or long-term job. Or, on weekends, I usually go hiking with my friends. This describes a regular routine. Now let's switch to the present continuous. Its main job is to describe an action happening at the exact moment of speaking. If I ask, what are you doing? You might reply, I am watching a video about IELTS grammar. The action is in progress right now, but it has other important uses. We use it for temporary situations. For instance, I live in London is present simple, suggesting permanence. But I am living with my aunt until I find my own apartment is present continuous, highlighting that the situation is temporary. It can also describe changing situations, like the climate is getting warmer, or even express annoyance at a repeated action, such as, my flatmate is always leaving dirty dishes in the sink. Pay close attention to signal words. They are your clues. For present simple, you'll often see adverbs of frequency like always, usually, often, sometimes, never, and time expressions like every day or on Mondays. For present continuous, look for now, at the moment, right now, currently, and these days. Recognizing these will help you choose the correct tense almost automatically. Okay, time for a quick check. Choose the correct form for these sentences. 1. She, is working as a project manager for a tech firm. This describes her job. 2. Look, the team is celebrating their victory. This is happening right now. Let's see the answers. Number 1 is, she works, because we're talking about her profession, a long-term state. Number 2 is celebrating. The signal word, look, tells us the action is in progress at this moment. How did you do? Mastering this distinction is your first step towards a higher grammar score. Let's move on to our second critical pair, the past simple and the present perfect. This is arguably one of the most challenging areas for learners, but it's essential for telling clear stories and describing experiences, key skills for the speaking and writing tests. The past simple is used for actions that started and finished at a specific time in the past. The key idea here is finished time. The connection to the present is broken. We know when it happened. Think of signal words like yesterday, last week, in 2015, or 3 years ago. For example, I graduated from university in 2020. The year 2020 is finished, so the action is firmly in the past. Another example. Shakespeare wrote Hamlet. Shakespeare is no longer alive, so the time period for his writing is finished. Now, the present perfect. This tense is a bridge connecting the past to the present. It's used for several key situations. First, for actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past, where the experience itself is more important than when it happened. For example, I have been to Japan. When? It doesn't matter. The important thing is the life experience. Second, It's for actions that started in the past and are still continuing. For example, she has worked here for 5 years, meaning she started 5 years ago and still works here now. And third, for past actions that have a clear result or effect in the present. I have lost my keys, which means I cannot get into my house right now. Again, signal words are your best friends. For past simple, you have specific time markers. Last month, on Tuesday, when I was a child. For present perfect, the signals are different. Ever and never for life experiences. Already, just, and yet for recent past with present results. And crucially, for and since for actions continuing to the present. Remember, for is used with a period of time, like for 3 weeks, while since is used with a specific starting point, like since 2021. Let's test this. Choose the correct verb form. 1. I have seen that movie last night. Pay attention to the time marker. 2. He has lived in this city since he was born. What does since tell you? The answers are, I saw that movie last night. The specific time last night locks the action in the past, requiring the past simple, and he has lived in this city since he was born. The word since indicates the action started in the past and continues to the present, so we must use the present perfect. Understanding this link to the present is the secret. Now, let's look to the future. English has several ways to talk about future events, and choosing the right one shows a sophisticated command of the language. We'll focus on the 3 most common forms: will, be going to, and the present continuous. First, will. We use will for instant or spontaneous decisions made at the moment of speaking. Imagine a waiter asks for your order, and you say, "I'll have the salad." You just decided. We also use it for offers like, "That bag looks heavy, I'll help you with it." For promises, "I'll call you tomorrow, I promise." And for predictions based on opinion or general belief, often with phrases like, "I think" or "I believe." For example, "I think it will rain later." Next is, "be going to." This is for future plans and intentions that were decided the moment of speaking. There's a prior thought process. For example, "I'm going to start a new gym routine next month." This isn't a spontaneous decision, it's a plan. Going to is also used for predictions, but unlike will, these predictions are based on present evidence. If you see dark, heavy clouds, you'd say, "Look at the sky, it's going to rain." You have evidence for your prediction. Finally, we can use the present continuous to talk about the future. This is for fixed, definite arrangements, usually with other people. These are like appointments in a diary. A specific time or date is almost always mentioned. For example, "I'm meeting my professor at 10 a.m. tomorrow." This is more than just a plan. It's a confirmed arrangement. Another example, "We are flying to Toronto on Tuesday." The tickets are booked. The plan is fixed. So, to recap the difference, the phone rings. You say, "I'll get it." That's a spontaneous decision, so you use will. You've been thinking about your career and decide to learn a new skill. You tell a friend, "I'm going to take a data science course." That's a prior intention, so you use going to. You've booked the course and paid the fee. You say, "I'm starting my course next Monday." That's a fixed arrangement, so you use present continuous. Time for a quick quiz. 1. Person A says, "The phone is ringing." Person B replies, "Okay, I will answer, am going to answer it." 2. We have tickets. We will see, are seeing, the new play tonight. The correct answers are, "I will answer it," because it's a spontaneous decision made at the moment of speaking. And, "We are seeing the new play tonight." The phrase "we have tickets" indicates this is a fixed, confirmed arrangement, making the present continuous the best choice. Now, let's apply this knowledge to a specific part of the IELTS test. Academic Writing Task 1. Describing charts, graphs, and tables requires you to switch between tenses accurately. Using a mix of tenses correctly is a hallmark of a high band response. First, when you introduce the chart, you should almost always use the present simple. The chart exists now, and it is showing you information now. For example, the line graph illustrates the amount of coffee consumed, or the bar chart provides information about. This tense establishes the permanent nature of the data presented in the graphic. Next, when you describe specific data points that are anchored to a finished time in the past, you must use the past simple. Look for years on the x-axis, like in 2010 or between 2005 and 2015. For example, in 2010, the consumption of tea stood at 500 tons. Or, sales of sedans fell sharply in the final quarter of the year. The time is finished, so the tense must be past simple. Finally, and this is a high-level skill, if a trend or change starts in the past and continues up to the present moment, or its effects are relevant now, you should use the present perfect. This often happens when the timeline on the graph extends to the present day. For example, since 2015, the popularity of electric vehicles has increased significantly. The increase started in the past and is still relevant or ongoing. Another example, the figures have shown a consistent upward trend over the last decade. Let's build a mini paragraph to see it in action. The bar chart shows the percentage of people using the internet in 3 different countries. In 2005, the figure for the UK was 60%. Since that time, the percentage has grown to over 90%. See the mix. Present simple to introduce, past simple for the specific past data, and present perfect for the change over time leading to now. Your turn. Fill in the blanks with the correct tense. 1. The graph, B, only 10%. 3. It, increase steadily ever since. The answers are 1. Shows, present simple introduction. 2. Was, past simple for the specific year 2000. And 3. Has increased, present perfect, signaled by ever since. This is the exact combination of tenses that will impress an examiner. Alright, let's put it all together with a lightning drill. 3 sentences will appear on screen. Say the correct verb form out loud before the answer appears. Ready? 1. I to the gym every Tuesday. The answer is go. Every Tuesday signals a routine. 2. She her thesis yet. The answer is hasn't finished. The signal word yet requires the present perfect. 3. Don't interrupt me. I to concentrate. The answer is am trying. It's an action happening right now. Great job. We've covered a lot of ground. Remember the core ideas. Present simple for routines. Present continuous for now. Past simple for finished time. Present perfect for connections to now. And for the future, distinguish between spontaneous decisions, plans, and fixed arrangements. Now the most important step is practice. Pause the video and try this. Find any Task 1 graph online and write 3 sentences. 1 using the present simple to introduce it, 1 using the past simple for a specific date, and 1 using the present perfect for a trend up to now. Read them aloud. This active practice is what builds mastery,